Poppel, endorsed by Jeff Foxworthy, the redneck comedian and honorary chairman of Duke Children's Hospital. Penned by Judith C. Johnson. Illustrated by Aaron Joel Moriarity. Once in a time, not so long ago, lived a boy named Poppel and his great aunt Flo. They lived at the edge of an enchanted wood, but Poppel was lonely, so he wished he could have a friend to play with, for he was all alone, while Aunt Flo was busy doing chores at home. At the edge of the forest sat a great big rock on which Poppel would sit every day round the clock. He sat and he stared deep into the woods, while he wished and he hoped, if only he could go into the forest to see what was there. But Aunt Flo had warned him, scary creatures live there. Now Poppel was lonely and so terribly sad. If he only had a friend, that would make him so glad. So Poppel decided he wanted to see. Are the creatures friendly? Will they play with me? Then little by little into the woods he did creep, but he was so nervous that he didn't make a peep. He began walking faster and much taller too. Now feeling much braver, he yelled out, "Yoo-hoo!" Then all of a sudden, from the corner of his eye, he saw a gray furry critter just a-running on by. Up one side of a tree, the critter did run, then back down the other. She was having such fun. The critter stopped suddenly right between two huge trees, giving Poppel such a scare that he fell to his knees. "Don't be scared, little boy," the critter exclaimed. "I'm Samantha A. Squirrel. Tell me, what is your name?" "I'm Poppel," he said, with his face all a-grin. "Please tell me, Samantha, can you be my friend?" "Oh, please call me Sammy, as all the critters do. But everyone knows I can't be friends with you." "Why not?" inquired Poppel with a sad little voice. "I can't be friends with people. It's just not a squirrel's choice." "I didn't know," said Poppel with his head hanging low. So on into the woods he decided to go. As Poppel continued on his walk through the wood, he heard a strange noise with each step that he took. Pop, pop went the noise. It was such an odd sound. Pop, 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 pop. It came out of the ground. Poppel stopped his feet as he glanced all around, when suddenly a head popped up out of the ground. Up and down popped the head, up and down all around. The head just kept popping in and out of the ground. "Hi there, I'm Poppel," the small boy exclaimed. "Tell me, Mr. Critter, do you have a name?" "Why, Miller Mole is my name, but my friends call me Miles." "Glad to meet you," said Poppel, with a face full of smiles. As Poppel glanced about at all of the holes, "Which one do you live in?" he asked Miller Mole. "Sometimes I live up and sometimes I live down, but mostly I live all around in the ground." Then Poppel blurted out, "Yes, that I can see, but I'd just like to know if you would be friends with me." "Oh no, not I," Miller Mole explained. "To be friends with a people would just be in vain. For moles and people, friends just can't be. It's just that simple. Don't you agree?" "No, I don't," replied Poppel, "but I sure wish we could," as he continued to walk on his way through the wood. After a short while, Poppel came upon a tree with the biggest black hole he ever did see. And inside that hole, he saw two big bright eyes and a furry red tail, much to his surprise. "Now what can this be?" an excited Poppel said. "I'm a fox, silly boy. Don't you see my red head? I have a long, sleek body, and I'm fast as can be. Though my name is Francesca, Fancy's what they call me. My name is Poppel, and I just want to say, do you think that you could be my friend today?" Just then Fancy Fox jumped out of the tree. "Oh no," she cried out. "You can't be friends with me. A fox and a people, it just couldn't be. Why, what would my friends all think of me?" As Poppel walked on, letting out a big sigh, I think you could spot a tear in his eye. Then Poppel looked up in the sky so blue and thought he heard someone calling out, "Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo!" he heard someone cry. "Who's there?" shouted Poppel. "Well, it's only I. I'm Oliver Owl, the very wisest of all. But Ollie's the name I prefer to be called." "My name is Poppel, and it's so nice to see a friendly-faced owl sitting up in that tree. I have one question, Mr. Oliver Owl. Could you be my friend? I would like to know now." Then Ollie responded, Who, me? Oh no," hooted Ollie. "That just can't be. An owl and a people would be such a sight. Why, my friends would be laughing all day and all night." With tear-stained cheeks, Poppel sadly walked away, heading back to his rock, where he sat every day. "Oh, why won't the critters be friends with me? I'm so sad and lonely, why can't they see? I don't want to harm them, I just want a friend. Oh, I'm so very tired of playing pretend." Now Oliver Owl sat perched overhead, having heard the boy crying, and all that he said. He flew round and round, wondering what he could do. Then he flew back in the forest to find his friends too. First Ollie found Fancy in her hole in a tree. He shouted, "Hey Fancy, come along with me." So Fancy came running along all the glow until they found Miles digging out a new hole. "Come with us," called out Ollie. "Come follow my lead. We have to find Sammy up in one of these trees." Miles quickly jumped out of the hole he had dug, and soon they found Sammy, all safe, warm, and snug. "Yoo-hoo, yoo-hoo," Ollie hooted, "let's talk. I just spotted Poppel sitting on the big rock. He was crying and crying because friends he has none. But I have an idea how to become one." "What?" squealed Sammy. "Can't be," mumbled Miles. "I think you've lost your feathers," Fancy frowned all the while. Now Ollie retorted, "I felt that way too, that people cannot become friends with you. So I thought and I thought, now how can this be? But the boy's not a people, he's a Poppel, you see." They all started laughing and singing with joy. "Let's all go find him and be friends with the boy." Now Ollie flew first and Sammy followed his lead. As Miles dug underground, Fancy ran with great speed. And there on the rock at the edge of the wood sat poor lonely Poppel, still wishing he could have a friend to play with, to care for and love, when all of a sudden he saw from above Ollie the Owl was flying his way, while Sammy the Squirrel was running to say, as Miller the Mole popped up out of the ground, Fancy the Fox began dancing around. "We'll be your friends," they all shouted with glee, and now Poppel was happy as happy can be. The adventure begins. Thank you very much for reading Poppel with us. Check back for more great stories, including the second Poppel book, Poppel's Place, and other great stories, and crafts and drawing too. 3 a.m. Studios. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll see the next show. Thank you.